What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Seeking Sister Wife Season 6, Episode 9. I knew this conversation was coming. Let's get into Garrick, Danielle, and Lorena. So before we get into the actual episode itself, I just want to say, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you have probably already seen on social media, that Garrick and Lorena have their beautiful baby girl. I saw this on TLC's official TikTok. There's like a clip of them introducing the baby to the world. It's a beautiful baby girl. I don't know what her name is. And yeah, they have their baby. Life is moving on for them. And congratulations to the Merrifields. So, into the episode. Garrick and Lorena are now officially married. Danielle is pretending to be very happy and excited about it. When Garrick and Lorena walk out of the courthouse, Danielle is out there waiting for them, and she's, excited and cheering them on and acting like she's just so over the moon about them getting married. But we all know that Danielle is dying inside. Later on, Danielle meets up with her sister-in-law, Samantha, and Danielle tries to downplay Garrick and Lorena's marriage by saying that, it's just a piece of paper. And she wants to convince herself that whatever her and Garrick have built, whatever they have established as a married couple, their love, their bond, their relationship, everything that they've built together still stands. And none of that has changed just because Garrick is married to Lorena. So whatever helps you sleep at night, Danielle, is fine with us. If that's what you have to tell yourself to get through this, it's perfectly okay. We totally understand what you're going through. But I think that it's more than just a piece of paper. I think that Garrick does love Lorena. I think at the very least, he's very crazy about Lorena, at the very least. And I'm assuming that Lorena has mutual feelings for Garrick. I'm assuming, but I do think that a part of me still believes that Lorena is here for all of this because she's just trying to improve her life. This was an opportunity for her to improve her life. Now, maybe as time goes on, she will develop real feelings for Garrick, hopefully. But Danielle is really trying to convince herself that him marrying another woman and them bringing another woman into their home and into their lives is not going to change whatever her and Garrick have together. So Samantha tells us in her confessional that she's always wondered if Danielle was doing this whole sister wife thing because it's something that she truly believes in, or was she doing it just for Garrick? And Samantha tells us that Danielle has told her, when she's asked her this, Danielle has told her that she is doing this because this is what God wants. Per Garrick. Okay, this is what God wants per Garrick. This is what Garrick is feeding Danielle, that this is what we have been ordained to do. God wants us to do this. God is leading us to do this. This is what Garrick says, that is in his heart, or what God has told him. So in essence, she is doing this for her husband because it's her husband that's telling her that this needs to be done. But we can all see, even her own sister-in-law sees that Danielle is not on board with this 100%, that she is struggling internally with all of this. But she doesn't want to upset her husband, because I think what could really happen, I think Garrett can be like, hey, if you're not trying to follow God's will, or what God's will is according to Garrick, if you're not trying to follow God's will, you can hit the road, Jack. We don't need you. Me and Lorena and my future sister wives, we're going to do what the Lord calls for us to do. And if you can't be on board with this, then, we don't need you. I think that's what Danielle's afraid of. And so that's why she's going to stick around, no matter how much it hurts her inside. So they talk about adding a third. Her and her sister-in-law talk about the possibility of them expanding their family by adding another sister wife. And Danielle says that Lorena has been made aware of this from the very beginning, that their intention is to add more sister wives. And I guess Lorena is okay with this. I don't know. Danielle didn't go too much into what Lorena thought or how Lorena felt about this. All she said was that Lorena was very much aware of this. And if she did say it, I could have missed it. So She also said that in order for them to bring on another sister wife, Lorena would have to be married to Garrick for at least 2 years because that's how long it's going to take for her to get her citizenship. So once she gets her full citizenship, then I guess her and Garrick will divorce, and Garrick will have to go through the whole process again with a sister wife from another country because for whatever reason, Garrick does not want an American born sister wife. He wants a sister wife that is from another country, and so they'll go through this whole process again of him marrying another sister wife and all of that citizenship, immigration stuff. So that answers my question because I wonder, like, if once Lorena gets her citizenship, I had asked the question, well, is Garrett going to remarry Danielle? But no, that's not going to happen. It's never going to happen because as long as Garrett wants to keep on adding sister wives, he's going to have to be available to marry these other women to bring them into the country. And I wonder if this starts to look like immigration fraud, that you are divorcing and marrying women just to bring them into the country and to live with y'all, or does the law see this as perfectly legit? Because it's not like y'all get married and then as soon as someone gets their citizenship, they bounce. You know, they actually stay married, they actually stay living together, or not stay married, but they actually stay living together in the same house. And so maybe immigration sees this as, well, this is just what has to be done in order for this family to live this particular lifestyle. Or do they see this as, what kind of shenanigans they got going on over there? And do we need to do an investigation if Garrett continues to divorce and marry these foreign women? So that's as much as I'm going to say about the Merrifields. I think nothing else really happened other than, like I said, it's official now. Lorena is officially a part of the family. She is officially Garrick's wife. I can't really predict or talk about, like, I don't know how Lorena would feel once it becomes real that they're going to add another sister wife. I can't gauge from her personality if she would be okay with that or if she would have issues with that like Natalia did. Danielle does say that Lorena has no idea what she's in for. It's one thing to be the new sister wife coming in, and it's something completely different being the sister wife that has to accept a new wife coming in. So that's like Danielle was saying, that those are two completely different dynamics. And it's, you know, it's all fun and games when you're the new one coming in, and it's a little bit different when, you know, you have to accept a new and better improved version coming into the family. So we'll see how that goes when they get to that. Moving on to Reese and Billie Jean. So Reese is still on his first date with their potential sister wife, Randy. And so far, it seems like everything is going really well. They're talking, they're laughing, they're getting along really well. The conversation centers around sex a lot between Reese and Randy. And once again, Reese talks about how he's so vanilla, how he's not that fun in bed. They talk about the craziest place that they've ever had sex. Reese said in a car. Randy said at the beach. They talk about, I think Randy asked him his favorite sexual position. He said the reverse cowgirl, but no, not favorite, the least favorite, your least favorite. And he said the reverse cowgirl because it can get kind of painful depending on the position and how you angle things. But he says he's very vanilla. I don't know if he says that because obviously he's very self-deprecating, and but maybe just haven't met the right woman, Reese. Maybe you're vanilla with Billie Jean. You need someone to bring out that spice in you, and maybe Randy's the one that's going to be able to do it. So Billie Jean ends up joining them for dinner, and Billie Jean can obviously see how well Reese and Randy are getting along, and this is just their first date. So Billie Jean questions, like, wow, how is it that they're getting along so well? Like, she questions that. And she starts to show like slight signs of jealousy. And this woman hasn't even been accepted into their family. They're still vetting her out. Okay, she's still just a potential. And Billie Jean is already having feelings of jealousy when she sees how well her husband is getting along with Randy. You think you want a sister wife until you actually get a sister wife. You know, maybe Billie Jean should have a conversation with Danielle on what it's really like to have a sister wife. You think you want one because you want to build community and it's all about family and expanding your family and you want support and you want a sisterhood, and it sounds all good until you actually have a sister wife and you're dealing with jealousy and insecurities, watching your husband fall for another woman. So Randy even notices how Billie Jean seems a little bit uncomfortable with her because Randy really wanted to know, like, how would Billie Jean deal with jealousy? Would she be jealous to see her husband connecting with another woman? And I guess at this dinner, she clearly saw that Billie Jean was struggling. The next time that we see them, Reese and Billie Jean are on their farm doing farm work or whatever, and her jealousy is really showing. She said that she didn't expect for Reese and Randy to get along so well. Then she asks her husband if he's developing feelings for Randy, and Reese was like, yeah. And I think Reese even told us that him and Randy are talking frequently and they're like developing a friendship and whatnot. And so he tells Billie Jean that, yeah, it seems to be going in that direction of him having feelings for Randy. So then Billie Jean wonders if Reese will end up like leaving her. Like she wonders, is he going to be capable of loving two women? And if not, is he going to choose Randy over her? And I'm like, wow, these are some serious feelings that you're having, Billie Jean, for someone who y'all haven't even decided if she's going to be a good fit for y'all. So she expresses all of her concerns to Reese, and Reese reassures her that I'm not going to leave you. Now, he didn't say anything about, is he capable of loving two women equally? He didn't talk about that when she asked him, because I think she didn't really give him a chance to answer, because she went on to her next question of, are you going to end up leaving me? And he was like, no, I'm not going to leave you. I will never leave you, so on and so forth. So Reese tells us in his confessional that all of this is kind of confusing to him because Billie Jean is struggling with this, but it was her idea to get a sister wife. He was doing just fine with him and Billie Jean on that farm. She was the one that wanted to add a sister wife, and here she is expressing all of this damn jealousy and insecurity. So that was really interesting to see. I don't know if this is just for a storyline because Billie Jean and Reese are dry. They're dry as hell. I kind of dread when their segment comes on because I know not much is going to be happening. Nothing really interesting is going to be happening. It got interesting today, but I'm wondering if this whole thing of Billie Jean feeling insecure and all of this, if it's just a storyline just to kind of make them more interesting than what they are. But in reality, Billie Jean probably doesn't even care. Moving on to the Davis family. So about the Davis family, I looked on Reddit, and Reddit says that Teresa is a sex worker. They said that she is a sex worker, and I don't know if that's how her and Nick connected through her profession or another way. I don't know, but that's what Reddit is saying, that she's a sex worker or that she was a sex worker before she got on the show. Who knows? So we see Teresa going out with a friend of hers to go play pool, and she talks to her friend about how she's really struggling to fit into this dynamic. Her friend says that Teresa is coming into this with a lot of trauma from past relationships and coming in with a lot of baggage, and she's struggling with a lot of stuff emotionally and mentally. And he wanted to know if she's doing okay. And Teresa tells her friend that no, she's not doing okay. She's really struggling finding her place in this family, and that she feels like she can never live up to, or she can never be as valuable as Jennifer and April. So her insecurities are showing. And it's like, I, I don't know, like, why you would want to, if you're already having issues with past relationships and feeling like your past boyfriends or your past partners never valued you, never appreciated you, didn't treat you the way that you wanted to be treated. Why would you jump into a situation where you have to fight for a man's attention and his love, where you have to basically compete with other women for this one man's attention? Like, why would you want to jump into that if you have so many insecurities about yourself from past relationships? The next time that we see them, they're having a family meeting, all of them, Nick and all of the three women. And this meeting is basically centered around how Teresa is like draining the hell out of them. She's draining the life out of them. And what are we going to do to fix it? So Nick says that her issues are causing a disruption in his household. He says that they've reached a crossroad. They're at the crossroads now. They've reached the crossroads, or a crossroad. They're at the crossroad, and he wants to know, what direction are we going to take? Are you going to be able to fix yourself so you can fit in? If not, we're gonna have to let you go. Like, what are we gonna do? What's the decision? And Teresa decides that she doesn't want to talk about this right now. So she gets up and she leaves. She walks away. And they try to get her to come back. April is begging her to come back. Let's finish the conversation. Let's come up with a plan. Let's figure out what we're going to do. Don't just walk away. And Teresa is already with one of the producers taking her mic off. She's ready to go. She's done. And Nick and his two women tell us that this is what she always does. This is her MO. We want to have a conversation about all the things that she's struggling with and what are we going to do about it and how she's affecting the rest of the household. And every time we sit down and talk about it, she leaves. And then when she comes back, she acts like nothing is wrong, everything is okay, and she just wants to continue on like nothing is happening. Nick says he's fed up with this. He's fed up with her pattern. And this is disrupting his household. It's disrupting his peace. And he's not going to put up with it. She didn't just like go into another room or go outside for a breather or for some fresh air. This woman got into her car and drove away. And Nick said, I'm not going to be chasing her. Again, I'm beginning to wonder, are her issues like emotional baggage from past relationships? Or does she have a substance issue? That's what I'm really beginning to wonder. Does she have a substance issue and that's what she's struggling with? And maybe they don't agree with that lifestyle and she can't quit? Or is this really about, past boyfriends breaking her heart? Because I'm not understanding at all what is going on with this woman and why she's having all of this rigmarole in trying to figure out who she is and how she fits in with this family. I wonder if she's having like substance issues. Anyways, let's move on to Matt and Angelica. So Matt and Angelica, Reddit also told me a couple of things about them too. So there's this thread on Reddit and it's dedicated to Matt and Angelica and their story on the show. And everybody's speculating that the reason why Angelica is struggling with them breaking up with Chené is because Angelica herself is in love with Chené and she wants to be with Chené, or that they are in a relationship with Chené. Now, there's someone on that Reddit thread that claims to be Angelica's biological sister. And they say that they introduce themselves or identify themselves as, hey, I'm Angelica's biological sister. I know what's really going on between Matt, Angelica, and Chené. And this person who claims to be Angelica's sister says that Matt, Angelica, and Chené are all romantically involved with each other. So it's Matt sleeping with Chené, it's Angelica sleeping with Chené, and of course, Matt and Angelica. So they're like, this is a romantic relationship involving all three of them. They're all sexually involved, romantically involved with each other. And this person says this a lot on this thread, that they know what's going on. They're Angelica's sister. They live right down the street from Angelica and Matt. And so they know the real deal. And of course, people are asking this person a lot of questions and they're answering like they really know these people. Then I saw a comment in the same thread from Angelica, for someone who's claiming to be Angelica. Their profile picture is Angelica, and they introduce themselves as Angelica or identify themselves as Angelica. And they say that me and Chené are not romantically involved. She admits that she is bisexual, but her and Chené are just friends. And that the reason why on the show she's so brokenhearted about Chené breaking up with them is because her and Chené were real friends. This was like her sister, her best friend. And so it really did hurt her when Chené left them. And she swears up and down that there was nothing romantic going on between her and Chené at all. I don't know, y'all. I don't think I'm as savvy as the rest of y'all are. I can believe that there's nothing romantic going on between Angelica and Chené. I can believe that. That's not far-fetched for me, but it seems like for the majority of the people, they're not going to entertain that at all. They truly do believe that Angelica and Chené are romantically involved, and this is a reason why she struggled with the breakup, because that's her girlfriend too. I think there's something kind of off about Angelica a little bit. I think she's like very like I don't. There's something going on with Matt and Angelica. There's something off about not just Angelica. There's something off about this whole relationship, and the reason why I think there's something off is because I don't think we have the real story, and the real story could be that she maybe is in love with Chené, and that's why she's struggling with this. Maybe that is the real story. But I think there's that if that could be the real story, and also I think there's something else going on here as well. I don't think we really know or understand the relationship between Matt and Angelica. Um, and also like in this okay, so in this episode, he comes back from his date with Chené and he tells Angelica that it didn't work out and that Chené broke up with them. And he said that he fought really hard to keep her, but she just wasn't having it. And the straw that broke the camel's back for Chené was the fact that they had gone out on a date with this other woman. What I didn't understand is when he said he worked so hard to keep Chené, I didn't see that. I didn't see him working hard to keep Chené. He doesn't communicate with her because one of her biggest complaints was that you never reached out to me, you don't talk to me, you don't text me. And he was like, "Oh, I thought you didn't want to talk to me." And she was like, "Well, how would you know if you don't even try to communicate with me?" So I don't see how he was trying hard when he barely communicated with her. Also, what I didn't understand on Chené's part, like, why would she use them going out on this date with this other woman as the reason for her breaking up with them? The date was a complete failure. Like, I don't know why Matt didn't say that. Like, yeah, we went to go see another woman. We did spend time with her, but it was a complete failure. There's no attraction there. I don't want nothing to do with her. It was a fail. I don't know why he didn't emphasize that. I don't know what Chené thought. It seemed like she probably thought that the date had gone really well, or maybe it was just the fact that they would want to date someone else other than her. Like, she's really full of herself. And she's like, well, how dare they even entertain anybody else, regardless of who it is, if it's not me? Maybe that's what's her issue. Like, she wants them to hang on to her and to chase her down. And so she's pissed off that they were willing to entertain somebody else, whether that date went well or it didn't go well. And then also what kind of boggles my mind is Chené saying that or using the date as the reason why she's breaking up with them when she herself was seeing someone else. And like she completely wants to bypass that and doesn't really want to talk about that because when Matt brought that up, hey, you are seeing someone else as well. She didn't want to talk about that. It was like, well, that's my business and this is different. So I don't know if she's someone who's so full of herself that she thinks that they need to be chasing her down, or if there's something else going on. If there's other issues, like there's got to be something else. I don't know what's going on here. And if she's that kind of person where she's hypocritical, where she's upset with them for going on one sorry date with someone that it didn't even work out, but she's sleeping with a whole nother man and she thinks that they're doing something wrong and not her, then why are they crying about her? Why are they so upset about letting her go? There's something wrong with Chené. If that's how she thinks, or if that's how she processes things in her mind, like how dare you see someone else, but I'm sleeping with somebody else. And this is different. And don't hold me accountable for that, but I'm gonna hold you accountable for spending a couple of hours with some weird chick who thinks she's a witch. That doesn't make any sense to me. So that's the Reddit thread. So he comes home. He tells Angelica that it didn't work out, that Chené broke up with them. Angelica says that she lost a best friend. And Angelica talks about how she wanted this whole sister wife thing because she was looking for support and community. But she has a family because we're going to meet her family next week or the week after. We're going to meet her family. And I'm like, what's happening, Chené? Like, you don't get along with your family? Like, I thought your family, and she, on this episode, she talks about how her sister, I don't know if this is a sister that popped up on Reddit, if that person's even really your sister, I don't know. But she talks about her sister is the only one that knows about her and Matt's lifestyle and the fact that they're seeking the sister wife. The rest of her family doesn't know, but she's going to be dropping the bomb on them pretty soon. So your sister knows about this, but your sister can't be your friend and can't be your, why is it that you can only have a friend if it's someone who's sleeping with your husband? Like, why can't you just have friends? You know, you can go on, just like you can find a partner, a romantic partner on a dating app, you can find friends on apps too, where you can, join a social club, meet people in your community, in your neighborhood, meet up for play dates or a book club or a wine club or a shopping club. You can make friends. I don't know why she feels like the only way for me to have community support and friendship is with a woman that wants to sleep with my husband and possibly me too. I don't know. I don't get it. There's so much confusion with Matt and Angelica, but the consensus is that she's upset about Chené breaking up with them because that was her girlfriend too. That's the consensus, and I guess I'm gonna have to go along with that if that's what everybody else believes. But I'm not saying that there's nothing romantic going on between Angelica and Chené. I just think that it's not hard for me to believe that she's upset truly because she's losing a friend. But maybe there's more to it than that. I don't know. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video if you like this content. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.